Hey guys, I've recently been asked a question of, is it possible to recover from an eating disorder alone? Now I'm going to answer this from personal experience, because that's all I've got. When I was ill with anorexia, there was no stage when I was doing things alone that I wanted to recover. Simple as that. When I was left alone, I felt like all the surveillance cameras were looking somewhere else, and that nobody was there to inform me, educate me, encourage me to think differently. Because nobody had even suggested challenging my beliefs. No one had even really had a proper word with me about my eating disorder before I started to speak to professionals. And, it wasn't my choice, actually, to speak to professionals. When I was at school, before I was withdrawn with anorexia, the school nurse was kind of liaising with me, and she referred me, because she was extremely worried about me, to a local NHS primary care trust, where there were counsellors. And I went through the counsellors, and at this stage, recovery wasn't even on my mind at all. I was completely dead against it. It was, I was at the beginning of an eating disorder, and I was in no mood to, say no. I was at the highest weight of my eating disorder, and I wanted to go down. And there was no way I was going to listen to anybody, because, provided I was that weight, I wasn't going to be happy, and I would do whatever it took to go down, and that would involve maintaining the eating disorder. So, I kept going to these counselling sessions, very reluctantly, feeling like, oh God, I really don't want to do this. Why are they making me do this? Do I even have to go? Is this really necessary? That kind of denial thing, really. And things got worse and worse and worse. I was there for several months, actually, seeing this actually quite overweight counsellor. And that kind of annoyed me at the time, because I felt like, when somebody who is, probably obese themselves, telling you to eat more, it's a bit like, oh, shit, I don't want to turn into you. But, that was, a small part of it. But then when things did get worse, I was referred to the hospital, where I was taken into the hands of an extremely empathetic and life-changing psychologist. When I was first told that I would be referred to the hospital unit, I was like, what the hell? Why do I need to do this? Okay, it didn't work out with the counsellors. Why do I even need to bother? I don't want to recover. Why are you making me? And, for the first sessions of my rehabilitation, I was just, I was hardly even, paying attention. My head was gone. And, that's because I wasn't eating enough, and I could scarcely even, think in those sessions about recovery, because all I was thinking about was chocolate, and just craving about food and food and food. But, sometimes things were easier, and my psychologist could get through to me. But sometimes there was no hope in hell. And she remembers it very dearly. The way one week I could be, I could be actually pro-recovery, and I could be sitting there saying, oh God, please help me, I really need help. This is all going wrong, and I need to get better for education. And then the next week I'd be like, I never said that, I don't want to get better. What are you saying? You're trying to make me fat. And, I was extremely temperamental, and it would often depend on when my appointments fell. Because sometimes, if they were on, say, a Friday, and I had bulimia Saturday the next day, I would be extremely anti-recovery. I would be like, no, I don't want to get better, this is all going really well for me, and rah, 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 rah. But then, if it was on the Monday after the bulimia Saturday, And honestly, the pain of the weekends, I can't even elucidate, because it was, I mean, there was blood, and there was coughing, and there was like fainting on the floor, sobbing in tears, and writing horrible suicidal diary entries. You know, if I had an appointment on the Monday with her, I would be sitting in her room saying, oh my God, please help me. This is the worst situation in the world. And, you know, even little things like that really made a big difference on my psychology at the time. And, you know, it's just very strange, like, how you can be so different depending on what you've eaten and, you know, your attitude towards recovery. And yeah, it's, you know, without her, and her name's Sally Cosgrove, she was, I can't even find the words to describe her, she's just ineffable. The most amazing woman I've ever met. And I can say that, you know, during my, like, long, prolonged 2-year sessions with her, I actually started to kind of, to love her. I felt like she had completely taken me away from this. She had shown me so many different options, and she showed me the value of recovery like I could never imagine it for myself. And, you know, I would hope dearly that every eating disorder psychologist has her power, because, you know, without her, I don't even know if I could recover. And of course she says, you know, Louise, you did it for yourself. You were the one who recovered. You know, it wasn't me, I just kind of guided you, but, you know, without her help and without me wanting to almost recover to make her happy, it was like I wanted to please her and show her, you know, you can do this with me. And, you know, just having another person trying so hard with you and for you, it can actually just completely change your life. And, you know, when I was left alone and when I was starting out with eating disorder, you know, doing my lonely thing and no one was bothering me, apart from my mother, who obviously was shrieking the house down, like, going insane, wondering what the hell I was doing. Yeah, but when you don't have a professional monitoring you and checking your food diaries and, you know, all these sort of things, you kind of feel, well, your anorexia feels like it's got complete control over you and that there's no one else to even challenge it. But when you have an individual, an outsider, a professional, who has seen so many girls and boys, go through an eating disorder, you know, some successfully, you know, recovered, some not. Some of her patients died. It's just the fact of the matter. You know, I trusted her. She was an expert and she was brilliant. I really thank her for everything she did for me. And, you know, maybe I could have recovered alone, but there was no hope in hell that I would have been back in education when I was, if I hadn't had her help. I'm serious. I really don't think I could have done it. I just feel like, because everything at home was so hard as well, I felt like I not only needed, you know, support with the eating, but I needed so much help with just getting my life together and feeling my self-esteem, like, complete itself again. And, you know, she was a real bastion of hope for me. And, you know, she was a real intellectual as well. And, you know, something I pride myself on is my academic successes. And, you know, I felt like we had some sort of a connection. And I wanted to show her, like, I can do this. I can be good. I can get back into education and I'll show you what I can do. And in order to do that, I needed to get better. And I did, because I wanted to. I finally wanted to get better. I realised, no, what am I doing? I can't even read a freaking sentence with this anorexia. My eyes don't focus on pages. My eyes don't focus on words. I cannot even cogitate anymore. You know, there was no other choice for me. I had to get back into education. It's what I've always wanted. It's what I've been dreaming of for life. And you know, I would really hope that you guys had similar, like, motivations or goals, because in all honesty, I really feel like in order to get over an eating disorder, you need a goal, and you need a goal that is only going to be attainable with a recovered mind, because I know that succeeding in education otherwise would have been nigh on impossible. So, you know, if you can, harness some inner strength and really pour yourself into some other discipline or something else that you can excel at. And for me, I knew I could excel at education. I knew I could do my exams. I knew how much potential I had. But with anorexia, it wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't going anywhere. And so, yeah, that's basically it. Can you recover alone? You know, depends what's driving you, really. But, you know, I'm always here for you, and there are plenty of professionals out there who hopefully can inspire you the way Sally Cosgrove did for me. So, ciao for now, guys.